Hi everybody and welcome to the new episode of the tutorial how to pretend that you're doing a tutorial about pretending you know how to cook. This is the first episode and today we're going to talk about pumpkins and I'm joking. And today I can tell you directly from the beginning this video is going to be not politically correct because we are going to talk deeply about materialism and hopefully no one will be offended. As every time I'm going to read a thought by Omram Mikhail Ivanov and then I will do some comments. But I'm sure that you would have enjoyed also watching me cooking. Anyway, I will keep talking about that later. If your one desire is to settle yourself comfortably on earth, you will be obliged to bury yourself in matter. That is to say, to burden yourself with more and more responsibility, commitments and relationships. And you will not have a minute left to breathe, to reflect and to meditate. All those who think of nothing but expanding their territory and opening branches everywhere to make as much money as possible end up being crushed by the weight of it all. And even if you want to go and look for them under the rubble, they are nowhere to be found. They have submerged themselves thousands of miles below ground, and although they call for help, reaching their hand out to you, there is nothing you can do for them. This is where their materialistic philosophy has put them. Of course, they are successful. Everybody congratulates them, or rather, idiots congratulate them. And not only do they congratulate them, but they want to be just like them, buried, unable to breathe or see the sky. Yes, unfortunately, this is how the majority of human beings understand life. Omram Mikhail Ivanov. It's a tough thought, I know. There wouldn't be so much to add, of course, on this thought that is extracted from a larger conference. But okay, the first thing that comes to my mind is, here it says that when you are too much into matter, then you don't have time, a minute left to breathe, to reflect and to meditate. Is this something that happened to you in a period of your life, or maybe are you feeling now under this weight, under this burden of due to your profession or family or whatever? I personally experienced those kind of moments, and actually it wasn't really my choice, but actually it's always our choice. But definitely I didn't have time to breathe and to meditate, and the less I was meditating, actually the less I was able to breathe, and the less I was able to breathe, the less I was able to find solution also for my profession. I was managing a team, it wasn't a team of sales, so when you are working in sales, I don't know if you ever done this experience, every day you are under the pressure of the numbers that you have to bring home. You have to sell, and doesn't matter you are sick, doesn't matter it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, even midnight, you have to sell. Because the day after there will be the number pressing you with that burden, and you have to achieve those numbers. Just to give you an example. So I really experienced the weight of matter in that case. Anyway, matter is every day, everywhere, but I find good examples actually in the profession. And the tendency is to think that then to solve, to feel better, we must keep adding stuff on our daily routines, working more, waiting for the solution, and putting aside the spiritual side or the time for yourself. And this is the big mistake we can do, because then we see that if we don't find a moment to reflect, is something like you are in the middle of a storm in the sea, and of course you cannot see so much, you cannot handle your ship, and you risk also to drown in the water. So that's why definitely meditation, mindfulness, if you don't want to put any spiritual meaning to the word meditation, you can talk about mindfulness as a way to stop for a while and breathing, so helping yourself with your physiology and making silence. So then just the power of silence is going to help you to calm down the waters, so you can take the control of the ship, you can talk to the sailors within yourself and say, okay, where am I going? What are we doing good, and what we have to change? So definitely meditation or mindfulness are the best, some of the best tools to deal with the pressure of daily matter, because we cannot escape from matter. We were born here. Until we keep reincarnating here on this planet, we must deal with the earth. But we can do something about that. I like to repeat the words of Saint Paul that said, in the world, but not of the world. So this means that you must work, you must have a family. I mean, you must. You are obliged to survive, to have a work anyway, to do something to feed yourself. But this doesn't necessarily. The point here is to not to give 100% of your life to the matter, to the materialistic way of living. You probably know some people that they are very, very materialistically ambitious, and what happens is that again they are really submerged by their responsibility, commitments, which is fine again to have responsibilities of commitment, but if they are only materialistic oriented, then at the end of your life you will be empty. What have you achieved? And why? What have you achieved? You might say, you might argue and saying, okay, you know what? I bought this. I have this, this, and this, and this, and this. I built this and this. Is that really an achievement? Materialistically talking, yes. But as long as the achievement keeps staying in the I have, it will not completely satisfy you. If it goes into the I am, so what have you achieved? I have become a good human being. I have helped others. I am a good example for the others. These are the achievements that really, really satisfy you. And why am I certainly saying this? It's not just that Lorenzo is going to tell you this stuff. There's a lot of literature, also psychological, not necessarily spiritual literature that talks about that. Probably you heard about the pyramid of Maslow, and Maslow was talking of the 5 needs of human beings. But actually Maslow, in the last period of his life, actually in the 70s, he added other 2 steps on this pyramid. So on top of the basic need, the love needs, and so on, up to self-actualization, he added the beauty need and the transcendence need. So it means for beauty he intended the need for harmony. Harmony that can be done also from interest and love for music, for art, for beauty, for nature, and transcendence as a way to transcending your own needs to be helpful for the others. And I can give you extreme examples. You can see some of the people that very famous people that everybody wanted to be like them. But what happened with them? Some of them they committed suicide, or they fell into bad habits like alcohol, drugs. And how is it that possible? Even they had millions of people that loved them. They had money, they had everything. They had. But they probably weren't. They weren't. And some of them, they didn't manage to survive. They committed suicide. Others, they found a sort of a transformation, a rebirth. And if you look at famous or very rich people, what do? At a certain level, they start to give. They start to be interested in philanthropy and so on and so on. Because in our way of being, in our DNA, in our soul DNA, we have this need of giving to the others, which in one word would be the need of love, but the unconditional love. So here I am talking about, in this photo we read about the pressure of the matter. Another symbolism that I like to use is the symbol of water, which is often used in the Gospels, in the Bible. In the Bible there is Moses that opens the waters, Jesus who walks on the water, or talking from the boat on the water, the baptism. And the symbolism of water is connected to matter. And why? Because usually you might think that matter is symbolized by the soil, earth. But that is not always true, because if you see the globe, the most common element is water. And in the Gospels, that is used actually to symbolize the materialism, the matter. And that's why the ritual of the baptism, in the beginning, it was taking one person, putting completely down in the river, inside under the water, and then put him up. And that was just a ritual to show how heavy, dense, and suffocating is the pressure of the matter. So in that way, it was purified and then left to start a new life. At those times, people were having the baptism when they were adults, so they could decide if doing it or not. Also, Jesus walking on the water is, I can use another symbolism, a very good, very recent symbolism of Matrix. If you have watched the movie Matrix, there is Neo who can fly and so on and so on. Anyway, it's not exactly the same symbolism, but he went behind the matter. He could control completely his thought, his fears, and so on and so on and so on. That he could also see behind the illusion of the matrix. At the same way, actually, Jesus was doing in the Gospels. And yeah, nowadays it's matter. Why am I doing this little sketch of the kitchen and the fake cooking tutorials? In these days I was having fun watching some YouTube videos to learn a bit how can I spread these messages as much as I can. And I just felt into some videos. Okay, I skipped a lot of videos, but I saw that most viewed videos are about cooking or about fashion, about beauty, about gaming. Nothing against this kind of stuff, but I see billions of views for watching people cooking, and again, nothing bad, but if I go and think about the Maslow pyramid, then this reminds me really of the basic need. This is really just we need to cook. There's nothing more noble than preparing the food for yourself and nurture yourself. It's a sacred ritual. So nothing against that, but if the focus is 100% that, then there might be something missing. And why not be in the matter? As we said, it's going to give you a burden, and that you probably already experienced if you had some moments in your life with a lot of pressure. And what happens when you start to be interested in you don't have to use the word spirituality, because what is spirituality? For me, spirituality is the moment that you start to forget about yourself and you want to do something for the others without expecting anything back. For me, this is the true spirituality. I mean, there are different grades on the path. There are many different steps on the spiritual journey. But the moment that you start to have that unconditioned love for doing something for the others, then you forget really about the matter. You live in the matter, you take care of yourself, but then you focus on the basic things that you need for having a good life. But then most of your time you use it for doing something useful also for the others. So I think I hope that you enjoyed these videos, and I don't want to be too materialistic and keep you too long. I promise one day I will cook some Italian food for you and not only pretending. And thanks for watching, and I remind you that you can find these videos on Facebook, YouTube and Instagram. Thanks for watching. Ciao, 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 ciao.